Hey everybody, it's Mike here from The Art of Guitar. I'm back behind the drum kit. As you know, I love to do drum videos every once in a while, even though my channel is called The Art of Guitar. The other day I was watching those videos where Lars Ulrich had to sit out of a couple shows. I don't know if he was sick or what happened, but they brought in Joey Jordison.
Hey, Joey!
And they brought in Dave Lombardo to play along with the band. And I was so excited I couldn't click that link fast enough to watch those videos. And it was really an educational moment for me because I thought, okay, now we're going to see Metallica with a different drummer. You know, all the people that hate on Lars, they finally get to see what it's like when Metallica's playing along to someone like Dave Lombardo. It's going to be incredible. And after watching them play live, I was struck with this feeling that it was great. It sounded awesome. You know, there were some mistakes because they didn't get to practice very much, I don't think, or rehearse together. But it was just missing something, you know? It's just one of those things that I couldn't quite explain. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a video about this, and I'm going to write out all the things that I think Lars Ulrich contributes to Metallica. And at the end, I want to determine if Lars is truly irreplaceable. So one thing that Lars brings to the table for Metallica is he doesn't just play beats. Every time you hear an isolated drum track from Lars Ulrich, you almost always know what song it is just by what he's doing. So he constructs parts. So I'll show you. I'll play 3 Lars Ulrich beats, and you could probably tell what they are right off the bat. Here we go. Oh, broke a stick. I love when that happens while I'm recording. Okay. Now this drumstick's all cold. Feels weird. Okay, so that was then Justice for All. How about this one? Okay, that was 1. That was Battery. Another thing that Lars contributes to Metallica is his unorthodox drumming style, which is nearly impossible to emulate. I've tried it, many have tried it, and there's always just something not right about what we're doing to try to copy him. So it's one of those things where he'll do a lot of weird fill timing, you know, he'll hit crashes on 2s. He also does a lot of drum fills that start on weird times as well, and he always ends off and then hits the crash on the 2, which makes the song feel a little bit off balance sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever Lars does drum fills, it's rarely with nuance. You know, usually he hits everything 100% during his fills. It's kind of an interesting trait for a drummer, because even during a ballad, he'll do something like... So it's like he's doing full-on rock drumming during a ballad. He will use dynamics, though, in other situations. So if you listen to him live primarily, his kick drum sometimes blasts out and hits you in the face. Other times it's real soft. Another Larsism is he likes to hit the hi-hat a little bit harder whenever he hits the snare. So it gives it this effect. One thing that Lars likes to do is he really plays with time in a dynamic way. So whether he means to do it or not, he'll be playing a beat and then he'll do a fill and he'll kind of speed up a little bit. He'll slow down, he'll speed up quite a bit within a song. When I hear him do that, I think of his playing like an organic slinky or something. It just feels like it's got its own life. You know, it's got some kind of motion to it. So as he plays, it breathes in a weird way. One thing that's really important to a band is that the energy of the band balances out. You know, if there's too much of one side, it never seems to work. And I've been in a lot of bands and I've felt that before. So what I mean by that is James brings a real, like, alpha lion type of vibe to the band. You know, he's kind of the father figure of the group, if you will. And I forgot who said it, but somebody said that in order for a band to really work, you kind of need the father figure and the mother figure in the band. And it's my belief that Lars brings that other side, kind of like the yin and yang symbol, you know? So James is one side, and Lars balances out that energy on the other side. So you can almost picture like James coming home all mad, yelling at Kirk or something, and then Kirk runs to Lars to find comfort or something. So it's kind of that whole energy of the mother and father thing. I think that really is what makes Metallica balance out. I could tell by watching all the documentaries of Metallica that Lars is a huge part of their creation process. So, you know, he might not be writing riffs for the band necessarily, but he seems to be quite the arranger, and he comes up with ideas for different things to do within the song that makes it more interesting. So, you know, it's one of those deals where somebody can get kind of annoying if you're trying to write a song and you have an idea of what you want to do, and then somebody has to come in and put in their 2 cents. But I think Lars is really good at putting in his 2 cents. Actually, he probably puts in a lot more than that. But either way, a lot of the Metallica songs, especially early on, are extremely interesting. And I think a big part of that is due to Lars Ulrich. Lars is also the mouthpiece for the band, which is good and bad. It's kind of a double-edged sword. But on the good side, you know, you have a great networking band member. And all bands seem to need this. You know, if everybody in the band was introverted and they just wanted to kind of hang out in the green room and not get out and talk to people, it's really hard for a band to go far when you don't have like a spokesperson. So Lars is really, really good at doing that. You could tell he's always schmoozing with people. He seems to be the guy who wants to be in the public eye. Now, that can also come back to bite you in the butt, you know, the whole Napster thing. But, I mean, that's a whole nother topic we'll talk about some other day. But sometimes when you're outspoken, it could really come back to bite you. Now, even just practicing playing battery today, I practiced for a couple minutes before I started rolling here tonight. I started to feel a little bit winded. You know, I do have asthma, but it goes to show you that you do have to exert yourself quite a bit to play some Metallica songs, especially the early stuff. So for Lars Ulrich at his age to be able to play 2.5-hour shows and keep that intensity, to me is a very important thing for a band like Metallica. Now we're talking about his energy in that case, but I also want to mention his enthusiasm. When you see Metallica live, if you've ever seen them live, you know what I'm talking about. He's running around the stage. He's always getting the crowd into the show. Whenever he plays, you know, he makes his crazy facial expressions. And it looks kind of stupid when you're watching it like on YouTube or something, but if you're actually at the show, it's kind of contagious. It makes you feel more energized and you really feel like you're part of the show and they're having fun. And it's just a good vibe that he brings. If you watch some drummers playing, like I do this a lot too, I get a little bit stone face as I'm playing because I'm sort of concentrating or I'm just trying to conserve energy. But Lars is so animated, it makes it fun to watch him play. I'm sure a lot of people are going to bring up all of the Lars Ulrich shortcomings as far as maybe his lack of techniques or, you know, sometimes people rip on him because he speeds up songs and slows them down, all part of his weird dynamics I talked about earlier. But I believe that your shortcomings as a musician become the idiosyncrasies that define you and your style. So that could sound like a weird excuse, like I might suck at something on the drums and I just go, oh, that's just my style. But Lars has truly found a way to make his signature drum sound and style out of all of his shortcomings. Not to mention all the things he does well. So if you balance all that together, you get your own particular style. All those things make him human. He's one of the most human drummers that I've ever listened to. You know, a lot of people try to become like robots when they play. They want to play strict time. You know, they practice with metronomes all the time. But when I listen to Lars, I almost feel like I'm listening to some kind of free-form jazz, but it's metal playing, you know, very human sounding, very human feeling. So if we come full circle now and answer the question, is Lars Ulrich irreplaceable in Metallica? I would have to say yes. For all the reasons I talked about in this video, plus really watching those videos of Joey and Dave playing along with Metallica really cemented it in my head that Lars Ulrich has to be in the band. Him and James, in my opinion, have to be there. If any of those two left the band, there would be no more Metallica, in my opinion. And yes, I know that over time, if you inserted a new drummer, they would eventually find their bearings with the band and everybody would eventually gel together. But it just wouldn't be the same in the end. It wouldn't be the Metallica that I know and love today. And so that's a big reason why I say that Lars is irreplaceable. But I'd like to hear your opinions if you want to throw them in the comments section. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreeing. You know, it's very polarizing, like I said. Lars Ulrich just brings out the craziest opinions in people, and people either love him or they hate him. But I'll look forward to reading your comments, and thank you for watching the video.